Hello and welcome to Decoding Attachment Style. Today we are looking at why it's so hard to walk away from someone who treated you badly. You know, a lot of times I hear people say, well, if they treat you badly, then you should just leave. But leaving isn't a logical decision. If it was, it would have been much easier for people to just walk away from what doesn't feel right or when someone treats them badly. It's not that people are stupid and they don't know how they're treated. Of course, we know how we're treated. But it's not a logical decision. It's an emotional one. Our brains, well, they're wired to fight this logical feeling. It wants to go to what's familiar, even if familiar is uncomfortable. So today, let's talk about the breakdown. We're going to break down why it's so difficult to walk away. And then we're going to follow that up with some actionable strategies for your boundaries with yourself, internal boundaries, and powerful, fearless communication. Because what I've found is that the moment another human being smells fear on you, and human beings are brilliant, we can sense when the other person is afraid and they're just talking and they really don't mean what they're saying. So what I find is that when you are fearless in your communication, when you're able to say, you know what, you don't get to treat me this way, and I don't care if you walk away, but I love myself so much that I will not tolerate anyone treating me this way, that's when people snap awake. That's when they start to wonder, do they really want to keep pushing you and lose you for good? Or are they now going to dig deep within themselves and work on whatever it is that's holding them back from meeting you halfway in the relationship or meeting you all the way in the relationship? But the only thing to get you there is your fearless way of communication. So again, we are going to be giving some strategies on how you could set some boundaries and how to have those powerful, fearless communication by the end of this podcast. So let's get into why it's so hard to walk away from someone who treated you badly, even though you know you should. Like I said, it's not a logical decision. First, there is the addiction to intermittent reinforcement. Bad treatment isn't always consistently bad. The occasional good day, or the apology, or a glimpse of the person you fell for, acts like a slot machine payout. So it's sort of like you keep doing the thing that hurts you, and eventually you get a candy for it. Eventually your brain starts saying, you know what, let's just keep doing this thing. It's uncomfortable, but the good times are coming. Your brain becomes addicted to the unpredictable reward. You don't know when it's coming, but you keep working harder and harder. You endure more pain in the hope that the next positive hit is going to come. You're hoping that, there's this saying in the publishing business, when someone wants to publish something, publish a book, for example, the more no's they get, the closer they are to a yes. So in the case of being in a relationship that is unhealthy, that is painful, we know that, all right, I'm going to have a bad day tomorrow, another bad day the next day, but maybe the next one's going to be a great day. I'm going to get a bad feeling now. I'm going to be rejected later. I'm going to be dismissed a few hours after that, but maybe tomorrow I'm going to get that validation. And so you stay working harder and enduring more so that you can get this one positive feeling. And then we have the sunk cost. This is where you've invested so much. You've invested your time, your love, your energy. You have shared history, trauma bonding. And now it is very difficult for you to walk away, because walking away probably feels like you have to now admit that all of this investment is wasted time. Your mind is going to convince you that if you just invest a little bit more, you're probably going to get the returns that you're hoping for, the returns that you deserve. And what happens is that you stay trapped in this fear of failing. And you keep going, you keep putting more and more and more. But at the same time, you're also resenting not only your partner for not showing up for you the way you want them to or the way you need them to, but there is something called self-guilt. You start to feel bad because you can admit that you are in this situation. There's a part of us that feels guilty that we're not getting out of it when we know we should. This is where you want to be gentle with yourself. We also have the fact that your identity is entwined with this dynamic. See, in a toxic relationship, we often adopt a role. We're either the fixer, we're the understanding one, we want to be the martyr in this. I could prove that I'm the one that's going to stick this through with them because they've gone through so many difficult times and everyone's left them. So I'm going to be the one to prove that I would never leave them. So now you're the martyr and you're the fixer. You're the most understanding one. And at the same time, there are those of us who feels like we're going to be the victims in this one. We can't get out of this. This person's treating us so badly. So who we are becomes intertwined in this dynamic. Our identity is locked in it. So this role, while it's so painful, becomes a core part of your identity. Letting go of the relationship means that we're going to be facing a very terrifying question. Who am I without this person and this problem to manage? A lot of times people stay in relationships because they don't know who they're going to be without it. What are they going to do next? What problem are they going to solve? They're so used to it. They're so used to this dynamic that they cannot imagine themselves being outside of it. This is why we hear stories, and we know from psychology, the longer you stay in an unhappy, uncomfortable relationship, the harder it is to get out. Because your body just now needs to figure out how to manage in it. There's also a distorted sense of hope. And this isn't the hope for a better future, but hope for a corrected past. You just don't want them to be better. You want them to finally see and validate the pain that they caused you in all the time you've been together. You stay, you wait for an apology or an acknowledgement that would make you feel like all of this suffering was worthwhile. And rarely, if ever, does it come. Rarely does it ever come. So how can we set boundaries with yourself to make sure that you don't stay in this predicament for a longer time than you should? You have to commit to a zero negativity policy about yourself. The boundary is you will no longer entertain your own self-critical thoughts that they have reinforced. You will no longer entertain your own self-critical thoughts. It means what you're going to start doing is speaking kindly to yourself. You are going to inspire yourself. You are going to pump yourself up. You're going to tell yourself every possible positive thing you can imagine to build up your self-esteem. When you hear that inner voice saying you're too sensitive or you deserved it, you're going to actively and immediately interrupt it. You're going to say out loud, no, I am having a human reaction to unhealthy behavior. My feelings are valid. So what you're doing here is you're setting a boundary against your own internalized critic. You're shutting up that voice in your head that makes you feel crappy about staying in the relationship, about having feelings that are valid. You also want to make a proof of change list. The boundary is you're no longer making decisions based on promises, potential, or past good memories. You're only going to trust what you're seeing right now, what you are living right now, your reality right now. So what you want to do is write down the specific measurable actions you need to see to feel safe and respected. It can be something like they follow through on a promise they make or a commitment they make. Or maybe you notice that they're working on themselves, they're putting in effort. Maybe they've started therapy. Or maybe they're now taking accountability without deflecting, without making excuses. You want to give them about 6 months without reminding them. So you're just watching their behavior. But you've got to write the list. It's got to be a checklist. And until everything on that checklist has been met, you are not going to stop protecting your space. You also want to schedule worry time and then cut the cord. What does that boundary look like? You're going to say to yourself, I will not allow this person to occupy my mental space 24/7. And how do you do this? You're going to give yourself 15 minutes every day to journal, rage, cry about the situation, whatever you need to do, but you're going to put a timer on it. And when the time is up, you're going to consciously close that notebook or get up and say, I am not dealing with this again until tomorrow's session. What this is going to do is contain the emotional spiral, and it trains your brain that you are in control of your own mind and not people around you. But you're also telling your body that it doesn't have to think about this particular situation all the time because there is time set aside for it. Now, what to say to make them rethink their behavior? And you're saying this without fear. The main goal here is to not punish or beg, but to state your reality with calm and absolute clarity that it forces a mirror in front of them. This works because it's unexpected and it frames the consequences as a natural result of their actions, not as an emotional threat from you. So you're not threatening them. You're just telling them what works for you, what you're going to tolerate, and what you won't tolerate. So you can say any of these things. You can say something like, I've done a lot of thinking about our dynamic. I've realized that when you do this thing, you put in whatever behavior. It might be dismiss my concerns or speak to me with contempt. It doesn't just hurt my feelings, it damages my ability to trust and feel safe with you. So you're telling them that there's an action that's been done and this is how it makes you feel. There is no need to threaten them. In just stating that, you're letting them know human beings are smart, remember? They sense that you will not tolerate it, but it must be done calmly and with absolute clarity. Like you're certain about this. You can also say, because of that, I am making a change for my own well-being. I will no longer be engaging in whatever that is. If it's late night arguments, if it's taking your calls when you've been drinking, if it's been covering for you at work, whatever it is, but you're no longer going to be doing this thing that upsets you. You can add this. I don't think it's absolutely necessary. This bit here is entirely up to you. You can add that this is not an ultimatum. It's a consequence I am controlling for myself. You're saying to them that I'm not telling you what to do. This is what I'm saying I need to do to protect me. And when and if you can show me through consistent actions that you care about my feelings as much as I care about my feelings, we can probably discuss reconnecting. And this way, you're telling people that, you know what? These are my feelings. And I'm not asking you to protect them because now I'm waking up. Now I'm seeing that it is my responsibility to take care of my feelings. And you, person, you, my dear, you, darling, you have not been protecting my feelings. And that's all right. But now I'm going to take control of my life. I am going to protect me. And since you're the person that's causing me this pain, you're the person bringing in whatever drama into my life and disturbing my peace, I will not tolerate it until you decide to get your act together. And if you could bring peace into my life, then I will decide on if you are the person that deserves a spot in my life. I know it's not always easy, but this has worked for me. It's worked for many of my clients, and I'm absolutely sure it can work for you too. Just get into the rhythm of it. Start saying no. Start saying you can't do this to me. Start saying no one gets to hurt me. And eventually it'll become easier and even enjoyable when you start to see that you get the respect that you deserve. And why are you getting the respect you deserve? Because you're first respecting you. When you respect you, you're telling other people they don't get to disrespect you. Let me know how these podcasts are helping you in your relationship as well as in your individual growth. Follow me across social media for more on healing and decoding your attachment style. I'm your host, Annalisa Bahadur, and this has been another episode of Decoding Attachment Styles.